Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the How to Film Weddings podcast. My name is John Bunn and hello, welcome. Thanks for tuning in this week. We're into the new year. It's February. A lot has been going on. And if you've been following any of my journey, especially on Instagram, I've changed everything that I'm doing with my social media and it has yielded me some significant returns. And so today I want to dig into my 2025 Instagram strategy and how I have booked now over $100,000 in 2025 with Instagram. Before I get into this week's episode, I want to talk real quick about our friends over at MusicBed. If you're not familiar, MusicBed is the best place to license music for your wedding films. We've got special promos and offers over at howtofilmweddings.com/musicbed. I've been exclusively using music from MusicBed for over a decade now. They've been one of our sponsors since the very beginning, and honestly, we're so pumped and honored that they continue to work with us. We want you to head over to howtofilmweddings.com/musicbed, check them out, tell them we sent you, download some free songs, trial, and do a trial, things like that over on our website today. So before we get going, a couple little backstory things. Last year at this time I had, last year wasn't the best year for my brand. And it's because I really took a step back and was doing a lot more with How to Film Weddings. So I wasn't pushing social media or networking as much for John Bunn Films, my video brand, as I was just How to Film Weddings. So some of this, skewed a little bit because I wasn't pushing really hard in 2024. But over the last about 120 days or so, since like October, November, December, and January, say like 4 months, I have really changed my tune, and I've been really digging in on Instagram specifically and using the tool to try out a whole lot of new things and see what it has and can do for me. And so I went today to look at some of my statistics from Instagram, and they let you look back in the last 90 days. But I know in the last 6 months or so, I've added 3,000 or 4,000 new followers. But in the last 90 days, I've had 2.2 million views on my channel. 90.9% of those are non-followers. I've had 25,634 profile visits, and 1.01 million different accounts have been reached. As I record this, my total follower count is 11,799. And in the last 90 days, I've added 960 new followers. I looked up a lot of data, and I like looking at data because, as my friend Blake, the editor, says, talk data to me. And I think data gives us an insight of what we're doing and is it working, and especially year over year, if you're looking at this year compared to last year, your data will really help you see if you're growing. And so I pulled up my CRM and just looked at data. And in January this year, I took in $22,750 worth of payments for John Bunn Films. This is new bookings or payments due, which is a pretty massive month. For me, 22,000 coming in, that's great. It's all my bills paid and then some. But I really started to dig in on HoneyBook there and look at my leads from October until January of this year, 24 into 25, but then also October into January or February of the year before. So 2023 into 2024, I looked up the data. In October 23 through February 1st, 24, I had 30 new leads come in. So not this year, but last year at this time. I had 30 new leads over that 4-month period of time. And for me, that's the heavy booking season. That's the time where the inquiries are the most, would really be all the way through February, but October through February. And so I had 30 new leads, and of those 30 new leads, I had 5 bookings, which made my booking percentage 16.667%. which is pretty solid. We say that 10% of inquiries coming in booked is a pretty good, like that's really good sales. Like you're doing a pretty good job. If you're booking more than that, you kind of need to raise your prices, or you might consider it. Of those bookings, I brought in $40,500 of booking value for the year during the busy season. So to reiterate, October through February of 23 into last year, 2024, I had 30 new leads, 5 bookings, and 16.66%. Last year, in total, I think I did 8 or 9 total events. And it's the first year that I hit under 6 figures in bookings since like 2012. Again, I wasn't pushing too hard. I was doing a lot of stuff for how to film weddings and deciding that I didn't want to do that many weddings. And so that's part of it. But when looking at that 16%, if you're out there and you're like, I don't have enough bookings, part of what you need to do is get more inquiries. The main thing you need to do is get more inquiries, because if I can keep 16.66% going with 60 leads instead of 30 leads, I would have gotten 10 bookings, or 90 leads, I would have gotten 15 bookings. And so getting more inquiries is really important. And there's a lot of stuff you should do with your branding, and a lot of stuff you should do with your website. And there's a lot of things we've talked about on here. But one of the main things that I'm looking at is, what am I doing to put myself out there to get new inquiries? Am I running ads on Facebook or Instagram? That's a way to do it. Am I networking? That's a way to do it. But to me, the best way that I have found to really get new inquiries, and most of my inquiries come from Instagram. And so some of you know my story, but after a hard year last year, I decided, hey, I'm really going to turn up the heat on marketing John Bunn Films. I added photography, and I just decided that starting in October, I was going to treat John Bunn Films and Instagram for my brand as a part-time to full-time job. I made a lot of different changes, and we're going to talk about those in this episode. But I want to talk to you about what my leads have looked like from October through February of this year. So last year I had 30 new leads. As of right now, I've had 52 new leads in that same amount of time. And I've had 19 new bookings, which makes my booking percentage 36.54%. with $175,075 of booking value in the last 4 months. So I've booked $175,000 worth of projects for 2025 and actually 2026 since October 1st, which has been mind-blowing in a great way. And my booking percentage last year was 16.6%, and this year it's 36.54%. Why I think that that's interesting is that the booking percentage I have watched correlate with how much I've shown up on social media. And I think that when I show up on social media, when people see my face, when they see the behind the scenes of my life, and they hear my heart, and they're just seeing me in 3 dimensions, they trust me more when they reach out. They're a more qualified buyer when they reach out. And the strategy that I've deployed, I'll go into, but the more that people get to know me and see me, the more they're either attracted or repelled by me. They might see me and say, ooh, that guy is too old, or that guy is too handsome. I get that a lot. I'm kidding. But they might say, that guy's nice, but he doesn't have the vibe I'm looking for. I'm not a hipster. I'm not super cool and in, like the Instagram cool world. That's not who I'm looking for, and that's not who's attracted to me and my brand. But when I look at those numbers, my leads, I've got 52 leads that have come in, and almost every day now there has been a lead for the last, month. It's just, they keep coming in. Maybe every couple of days there's a solid lead coming in. And without more leads, I can't get more bookings. And I need Instagram to help me get more leads. I need networking. I need all these different things. But today we're talking about my 2025 Instagram strategy and how I've booked over 100K for 2025 weddings, actually over 170K. at this point. And what I think about is the shift that I made in October of 2025. And I knew that it would take about 100 days of me being really consistent for me to see a result. And I've noticed that about anything in life. Really, if I want to do something, I'm excited at the beginning, but if I don't stick to it for about 100 days, I really don't see a lot of results. If I don't work out, if I don't have a health plan, if I don't have a relationship or friendship plan or whatever, if I don't have 100 days kind of figured out, then usually it fizzles away. So I kind of made a decision that, October is about 100 days away from the end of the year. I'm going to show up between now and the end of the year and just be on social media. And I'm not addicted to social media. I'm not scrolling social media. I have a very strategic plan for 2025, but the main thing that I'm thinking about is that I want to show up and show people my brand. That's it. I need to show up. I read a quote that it's 80% of success is just showing up. And I think that that's very true. I think Woody Harrelson said that, but classic Woody Harrelson, but just 80% of success is just showing up. And to me, I think a lot of us get stuck where it's like, well, I don't want to post anything until it's just right. Or I don't want to, people might think I'm a loser, or people might judge me or whatever. And I got to a point to where like my family just needed me to show up on my wife wasn't like, you need to get on Instagram and do marketing, but my family needs to eat and I needed the money. And it's like, where do I need to be in 2025 to show up to potential couples? For me, my couples live on Instagram. So I had to just say, I'm going to show up. And I had to make decisions that meant that I was going to spend time in Instagram. And after 100 days, it really has paid off. And so I want to have a couple of things that I throw out there. The first thing is that you can't just think that your Instagram strategy is how can I get more followers? They've changed a lot of stuff on Instagram where you can get a lot of followers by having reels go viral and things like that. But to me, I would rather have the people that really love my brand follow me than a big following. And when I started to focus on that, that's when my follower account started to actually grow. So what if the people you already were connected with were continually reminded that you exist? The people, the planners that you've already worked with, the photographers you've already worked with, the florists, what if they just top of mind are thinking about John Bunn whenever, maybe they're talking to a client or maybe they're whatever, like what am I doing to show up and show people my brand? And I'm throwing out that mindset that more followers is my goal. And so that was kind of the space for me is like, okay, what is the brand of John Bunn Films? And I know for me who I'm aiming at. I've worked exclusively with Sam Jacobson to help me define my ideal avatars and know who I'm aiming for and the words and the ways that I want to go about selling to different buyer types and just who is the brand of John Bunn Films and what do I want that to be. So I had to understand that first, and we've had plenty of episodes on that. So I know who I'm aiming for and I know the kinds of content that they want to see, but am I continually showing up? Am I only posting once a week for a month? Or am I posting 10 times in 1 week and then nothing for 3 months? So I knew I had to consistently show up and show people my brand. I had to know what my brand was. And 80% of success is just showing up. And that's what I decided to do was I'm going to show up. So a couple things that I did and I'm going to walk through is just anytime I would get a new inquiry, I changed my inquiry form to say, share with me your Instagram handles. And I put something like, I love to put a face with a name or something like that. I promise not to creep or whatever. That was something on my inquiry form. And it's not a mandatory question, but if people inquire with me, I can go in immediately and I can follow that couple on social media. I can send them a quick message and say, hey, just saw your inquiry. I can do things where I follow them. And if they, for some reason, found me through social media but don't follow me yet, usually they're immediately following me back. And so I follow them. And then what I've been doing is going into their specific account if they allow me to follow them, or if they're a private account, I've got to request access. But if If not, and once they're allowing me to follow them, a couple things I do. If that person reached out and they are similar to my ideal couple, I will go through their last 9 or 12 posts and see if there are any posts that they have made that they're tagging other friends that kind of have a similar vibe, and I will go follow those people. I'm not creepily just going in and trying to find a million people to follow and unfollow. But I know that if, Jimmy and Susie reach out, and Susie is, for me, one of the big things is like I'm in Oklahoma, different sororities. There's certain sororities that I keep doing weddings for. And so if somebody reaches out and they're part of that sorority and I notice that somebody else that I did their wedding for, or, is in their feed, I can send them a message and say, hey, it looks like I did Haley's wedding. Thanks for following along and inquiring. Excited to chat, and be sure to ask Haley what it was like to work with me. And so I'll follow people that they follow or that they've tagged, and I'm trying to find commonalities. I'm trying to expand my reach with that. Like, a lot of times I'll follow maybe the couple and then 8 or 10 other people. And within that, 3 or 4 new people will follow me. And they're all ideal kinds of couples. And that opens up a new relationship for 3 or 4 new people that are very similarly minded to, and people that have inquired are now following me and getting to know me via my social media. I will say I don't go and just follow thousands of people or anything like that. But I have been going in and finding those people and following them. And I've also went back to anybody that's worked with me in the last couple of years, and I go through their profile and anything that they've posted with different people, and I go follow a lot of their friends as well. And so that's one thing that I've been doing that's been a really good way for me just to show up and show people my brand and show people that I exist. And it allows me to start the conversation with the potential couple. And because I've been showing up in my stories every day, and because I have a lot of new posts, they get to immediately see me in 3D moving like this. Imagine if you've only seen photos of me, you would trust me a lot less to be talking to you right now on this podcast. And so by seeing me moving and seeing me, just being me, like if you go to my profile right now, you'll probably see something in my story of my life or me talking just about what's going on in my life. And people really want to know that kind of thing. And so anytime I have the inquiry, I go in, I follow them, I try to send them a DM over there. I try to follow some of their friends, their future spouse, things like that. And that has been really helpful just on finding new people. Also going back to previous couples, following their friends. Again, if they see that I did their friend's wedding, there's a high likelihood that they're going to follow me. And my goal isn't just followers, but my goal is to get them to see my brand and what I stand for and see if I would be somebody they want to work with. So with all that, I changed my mindset, and then I decided, what can I do to be consistent? And for me, I knew I needed to put out at least 2 to 3 posts a week. They don't have to be super pretty. They don't have to be perfect and polished. And I've been going back and forth between photo posts, photo reels, talking head iPhone videos, wedding moments, and polished moments, and posting different kinds of reels and things. And I downloaded the Scroll app so you could do photos that kind of all blend together as you're scrolling left and right with them, like seamless photos. I've tried a lot of different things. But the best content that has shown up for me, number one, are wedding moments. I've had a couple of moments go viral. That one has 11 million views, I think so, over the last 6-7 months. That continually gets me new people. Another one has like 800,000 views. Another one has like 1.2 million views. So that doesn't mean as much as it used to even last year or the year before. There's a lot of things that are happening so that reels will go viral. But my strategy has been those 2 to 3 posts per week, no matter what. And I put a pretty thumbnail on them, of course. In the thumbnails, I'm showing photos of me every 4 or 5 or 6 posts. So when people come to my page, they see lots of imagery of me, because I know my couples want to see what I look like. They want to see what I'm like at a wedding. So that has also given me a strategy of when I'm at a wedding, have my second shooter film me a little bit, film some behind the scenes of me. I've bought the Ray-Ban Meta glasses and I've been filming behind the scenes of my own camera so people can see that. And I just want people to see, oh, this John Bunn guy is a nice guy that makes really great wedding films, and he's out in the world doing lots of weddings, and he does really beautiful events. That's just what I want. That's how I want people to see my brand. And if I don't show up, they're not going to see that. And if I don't have a strategy, they're not going to know what kind of brand I have. Hopefully this is helping. But the best content has been moments from weddings, and then also iPhone clips of just me talking about a subject. Just saying, hey, I'm a wedding filmmaker. I've been doing this for 18 years. Here's what you should consider when booking a wedding video photo team, and it should not just be money. And then I will give them a tip. And that kind of thing is really helping me grow and really helping people see me as an authority and people seeing me as somebody they might want to consider following. And then the thing that's been working really well too is, like I said, those Ray-Ban Meta glasses, filming behind the scenes at weddings. People can literally see what I'm seeing at a wedding. And if you don't know what they are, they're like sunglasses that have cameras on them, and you can literally record. And so I'm literally pushing a button and it starts recording. I've actually got them right here. I should put them on for the rest of the episode. Let's see if they'll do it. Let's see what we got here. If you're not watching on YouTube, I'm sorry. So anyway, these are what they are. And I put them on and I can take a picture and it lights up. Oh, it's still thinking. But I can put these on and I can record. And I'm just thinking my strategy of what can I do to show up and so people will know I exist. And I've just been thinking differently about all of this stuff. I've been thinking differently about my brand, and I'm showing up. And so that's my strategy for, like, my weekly strategy is 2 to 3 posts and thinking through the different kinds of things: talking head posts, wedding moments, polished work, photo posts, photo reels, tips, stuff like that. So I've found like my kind of content. And then I've decided that I'm going to, if possible, always have something in my stories. Stories live for 24 hours on your feed as of the time of recording this. And so I am thinking, what kinds of stuff do I want to show people? This is more of the behind the scenes of my life, moments, me thinking things out loud, me cheering on as new people book me, and stuff like that. So my stories is where I show up every day. And if there's not a red bubble like thing around my story, I'm doing something wrong. And I've been showing off more of my personality, my behind the scenes of my life. Just me at the gym, me talking from my car, me at weddings, and then the other thing I've really been trying to do is every time someone inquires, the next day I'm like, woke up to 2 new inquiries, and showing like a really beautiful shot of me filming a wedding at a desert or wherever, and just reiterating to people and telling them people are inquiring with John Bunn. Every time there's inquiries, I'm woke up to 2 new inquiries. Every time there's a new booking, I'm making a post saying, welcome to the JBF family, with a polished video from a recent wedding, like a little 5-second clip in my stories saying, welcome J+S to the John Bunn Films family. And like, people are just seeing, oh, John's booking stuff. John books weddings. And I want them to want to reach out and want to have their name shouted out whenever they book me. And it's working. People want that. People also like seeing that. And I'm not even just talking about couples. I'm talking about wedding planners and photographers and florists are DMing me saying, wow, man, you're really killing it. Like, and people are just, especially the planners, have started really coming back to me, the ones that I've worked with, saying, wow, it looks like you're really killing it this year. Do you have this date available? In my stories, I've also been posting different polls, trying to get people to interact with my stories. I'm trying new things. I'm not trying to be perfect. It's like perfect inaction beats imperfect. What is it? No, imperfect action beats perfect inaction every single time. And I'm going to say it one more time. It's like imperfect action. Taking action, but it's not perfect. It always beats perfect inaction. Waiting till it's perfect to start. And within my stories, I've just been trying new things. And every day I've got new things going out. And sometimes I'm like, I don't know if people want to see this shot of me working out, or they want to see this thing or whatever. But like, I've just realized the people that want to follow me will follow me. If I'm showcasing the brand that I want, then I will do it. Over the holidays, I would film my fireplace with a fire in it and put a little lo-fi beat on there and just say like vibes while I'm editing today, or like I'm thinking about the brand of John Bunn Films and how I can elevate and show people this is what I'm up to, this is what he's doing. I'm curating it, but it's in a way that feels really natural. And showing off more of my personality has caused more wedding planners, more photographers, more people just to see that I exist. The other thing that I didn't write in my notes is I did add photography, and I love doing photo, but I've been just DMing people and saying, hey, would you like a free photo shoot? And I've been building that side of things, and I'm going to talk about that on the podcast soon. But I don't want to dig into like how I'm building my photo business, but by creating that motion of who wants a free photo shoot, DMing people that are friends of other people that I've just taken photos for and saying, hey, your friend Molly and Tanner just did photos with me. Can I give you guys a free photo session? I have slowly over the last 24 sessions that I've done now transitioned from free sessions to paid sessions and paid bookings for photo weddings because people are seeing that I do photo. But that has been a hack for me to have fresh photos a couple times a week that I can share and invite people as collaborators. And I'm not even getting into inviting people as collaborators today. I'm just talking about my strategy for booking weddings right now. And so, I've got those 2 to 3 posts a week. I've got those stories showing up. I'm doing what I can all the time to be active. And I'm putting this into like a 20-minute window per day. And, over 100 days, it has helped me get so many more inquiries, so many more bookings. And I will say this, by showing off my personality and showing off the behind the scenes of my life, I think that, I will reiterate, is the reason that my booking percentage has gone up by over 20% since last year. They come in knowing who I am and what I stand for and the kinds of weddings I want to do. And so that is a huge thing for us. The last little note here, one of the last notes, is DMs. I will spend a part of my day going in and interacting with the people that I follow. I go to their stories. I send them comments on their posts. I'm just connecting with them. And I make sure that I put anybody that I want to show up into my following feed or whatever. There's a feed in Instagram where you can, your favorites that you can set up. And so I've got all the planners in there and all the photographers I've worked with. And I'm just connecting, not like a heart emoji or whatever, but I'm watching their thing, telling them they're great, sending them a voice note, just connecting with the people I'm already connected with. Because again, 80% of success is just showing up, being remembered. And to me, I'm staying in front of people. I'm not trying to be annoying. I'm not being annoying, but my goal is to be remembered. Who remembers that I exist? And so by consistently staying in front of people, I've gotten nearly 50% more leads this year, and I've booked 20% more of my leads, and I've generated 400% more revenue. I'm going to say that again. I have stayed in front of my couples, and I've gotten nearly 50% more leads over the same time from last year to this year. I've booked 20% more of those leads, and I've generated 400% more income. My year is looking incredible. I have enough money in my scheduled payments every month to take care of my family. It's allowed me to change my strategy. It's allowed me to raise my prices back again. It's allowed me to say no to certain things, but I had to get back on the other side of momentum in my brand. And that's exactly where I'm at. I have momentum, and every day I'm doing this. After 100 days or so, 120 days now of staying consistent on social media, it's a habit. I want to do it. And I will remind you that you need to take action, and it doesn't have to be perfect. The people that are waiting to take that action are the ones that aren't going to grow in the next 100 days. And 100 days seems like a long time, but it's really not. And it's just you're not going to see results unless you commit to something. And you have to stop waiting until you have it all figured out. You need to find out what works for you. And maybe that's different than my strategy, but as I look back, and I'm proud of what I've done, and I'm thankful for the position that I'm in. And, you might be saying, well, John, you've got a lot of weddings and a lot of work. And it's like, figure it out, do something, take action, show up, record yourself, go get a styled shoot, go offer a wedding for free. I don't care. Get in front of people and know who your brand is and show up and just be consistent. That's what I'm doing in 2025. I'm doing so many more things. If you have questions about what I'm doing, send us a DM over on our How to Film Weddings Instagram page. I'd love to talk more if I missed anything, or if you want me to go deeper on a subject. I really just let me know. Like, I'm really digging in this year to the podcast and trying to come a little bit more prepared with deeper notes and deeper thoughts, and really trying to help you out on this podcast. And so if this podcast was helpful, I usually tell you to send me a message, but could you send this to somebody that you think needs to hear it? If you notice, this is a wedding film podcast, but maybe you've got a photographer friend that needs to hear it, or a planner that needs to hear this. I think this information will transform any creative business in Instagram in 2025. So I hope it's been a helpful episode for you. I'm excited about all the episodes I have coming up. If you have any content you want me to record in line with Instagram or booking or sales, let me know. I'm always looking for new ideas or new questions so that I can answer them. That helps me out a ton. But I really enjoyed preparing for this episode, and I hope that this episode is inspiring. I will throw out the caveat that sometimes my tone and my numbers come across as braggy. I'm proud of what I'm doing, but I'm not trying to be braggy. I'm trying to be humble and say, hey, I want you to get off the sideline when it comes to your Instagram account in 25 and see this tool for what it is and use it in a way that's going to get you more inquiries. Because if you didn't notice, 2025 seems to be picking up so much better than 2024, especially, just in the economy and different things. And so, like, be ready. You've got to start putting in that work now so that 100 days from now, you can see those results. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to MusicBed, our sponsor of today's episode, for being part of the team, part of the sponsorship team. Head over to howtofilmweddings.com/musicbed to check out all their promos. Thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, we will see you.